Yes, sorry guys. Yes, it's time. It's time, bro. What's happening, guys? What is up? So, I'm going live for the first time on Instagram. We'll see how it goes. What's happening, you guys? Hell yeah, smash that like button. How are my Instagrammers doing? First time going live on that platform. If you guys could, on Instagram real quick, will you guys tell me if you guys have the ability to give gifts? I'm curious. They're supposed to, it was supposed to be unlocked. But, how you guys doing, man? What up, Slim Dre? Miss Ohio's to you. Marie Good, what's up? Robert Copeland. Yup, hit that like button on Facebook, y'all. Or TikTok, y'all. Hit that like screen. 17? 21? What's going on, TikTok? That's weird. 101 on Insta. What's up, y'all? How you guys doing over there? Can you guys see the ability to give gifts there on Insta? Michigan in the house, representing. What is up? I know YouTube has the ability. Maybe it's, maybe on TikTok it's because of my title. Don't see a gift option? Okay. I'll figure it out next time, apparently. How's the Giant movie coming? Well, they have $80,000 raised already. They said the ideal number would be $450,000. So, and I'd watched it, you guys. I checked out if you guys check me out on, all you Instagrammers, check me out on YouTube. I am now popping on YouTube pretty well. I'm almost to 100,000 subs. So, I posted a video recently on there. A friend of mine hit me up, and people saying that that they feel that the government won't show it, that the gov won't show it, which is weird. Unable to connect. What's going on here? You guys, is my connection okay, y'all? How's everybody doing out there? No, I didn't kick myself. I think my connection's acting a little funny. You guys on there? You guys got it? I don't know what's going on with that. That's really odd. Am I getting better? How's it? Oh, look at that. 182 on TikTok. I always love TikTok, fam. You guys always show up. Thank you, guys. I urge you guys on Instagram. I've slowed down on Instagram, all right? And it's because of heavy censorship. So, I kind of stopped. I still post my videos on there, my longer videos, but I'm not as punctual about it on Instagram. YouTube, I post everything on YouTube. I still have to catch up a couple videos on TikTok. I have a couple great video ideas for TikTok, though, that I know are going to pop. And that's going to be, you guys, I was looking it up the other night because I got a message from a gentleman on Facebook. And he told me, bro, you got to look into the Alaska gnomes. The Alaska gnomes. And I did, and holy cow, dude, they have some really interesting lore on the Alaska gnomes. Different than any I've studied yet. And it's really intriguing stuff. So I'm definitely going to do a video on that. I'm doing a video on the Vajra Chronicles next, though, before I do a video on that, because a buddy of mine, one of my friend, he finds awesome sources, you guys. Like, dude, I don't know. he's just good at it. He finds great sources, and he's been asking me to do the Vajra Chronicles probably for over a month now. So, and he's always on me about it. Come on, man, when are you gonna do that? So I'm gonna do that for him. And what up, Tiny Miller? How are you doing? The Beast of LBL. What's LBL? Land by the Lakes? I'm not sure. It depends on who you are, Tactical. I did get one dude was commenting. He was getting upset with me on my YouTube. I wasn't as punctual about comments as I should have been, mostly because of the negativity I was getting. So I stopped looking at them for a while. But now it seems as if my comments have kind of gone more towards the positive. So, what up, Monstro? How you doing, brother? Good to see you here. Good to see you here. And bro, on God, Monstro, I'm glad you're here because I was going to talk to you about that. I'm thinking about doing a short 3-minute video for TikTok and YouTube, or TikTok and Facebook more or less, because I noticed Facebook likes 3-minute videos, YouTube 10 to 15, and obviously TikTok 1 to 3 minutes. So I want to do a quick 3-minute video, Monstro, on your birth story, but I wanted your permission first. So I just think that's a really intriguing story, and dude, it'll go. I'm pretty sure it'll go viral. So like I said, it's something personal, and we've shared it in lives, but that's a little different than putting it on the line. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, that's what's up, brother. Hell yeah, cool, bro, cool. I like it. I just got the green light, so you guys are gonna want to see that story too. That's a crazy story. Hey, thank you, Tony Van Diesel. I really appreciate you. Yes, I do like your everyday donations, brother. It means a lot to me, for real. It brings my overall up, and YouTube loves it when I go live and I get a lot of donations. So, yeah, YouTube is just the greatest platform. I'm so happy to be a part of it. I'm hoping that when I get that, hey, thank you, love from Philly, got good content, do more Tesla. All right. Somebody put me onto a page on TikTok that does a lot of sharing about Tartaria and the super advanced civilization that apparently once inhabited Earth. And you guys, like, I've seen some pictures of this civilization, and it's absolutely intriguing stuff. They had some definitely hella advanced tech. So I'm definitely excited to look into that a little more, maybe do a story on it as well. So I got content for days, bro. That's what's up. Good stuff, Monstro. I appreciate that, dude. For real. And hey, I'm telling you, bro, once my money gets flowing, I'm gonna send you a little thank you check for all your awesome stories and your grandfather's awesome lore. It's truly priceless stuff, man. I mean, awesome stuff. So, yeah, the 5 giants to ever inhabit Earth come from Monstro. The Duendes come from Monstro, his grandfather. The 7 luminaries of Mexico also came from Monstro. So, dude, he's been an awesome source. And I swear to God, every video I posted that Monstro's grandfather told him the story of, or his father too, every video, dude, it pops. It just goes, dude. People love it. Especially the Spanish people, you know what I mean? Especially the Spanish, because a lot of times I think, their lore doesn't get as much representation, if you will. So I know that I have a lot of followers who are Spanish, and I'm really thankful for that. So we like to get a multitude of cultures following me, man. The more the better. So yeah, he's been an awesome source, and so is my boy Dre. So yeah, and I've gotten more people email me all the time on sources and stuff like that. And you guys, I've been hearing some wild stuff lately. Getting wild messages, and I know a lot of times people are kind of goofy and maybe it's a little quacky or something like that. Maybe they're just trying to get attention, but certain times there's time where I'll be like, okay, this seems legit. You know what I mean? This seems legit. Uh, so recently I've been hit up, you know what I mean, by this person. At least they say they are. So they don't, they, and I don't know if they're just messing around or not. You know what I mean? I'm like, is this trying to get attention? You know what I'm saying? Uh, Either way, they're doing it well, you know. But this person hit me up and they told me that they were a basically a hybrid, all right, a hybrid, and they were from their genetic line hailed from the Andromeda constellation and the Pleiades, the Pleiades. And they said that that was their bloodline. Okay, and they're hitting me up and they're talking to me, asking me, you know, obviously. And the first thing they said, it kind of took me aback. They go, what did they say? Basically, they said, "How are you?" And then more or less they put like a little droplet of blood after their, you know, the emoji for the blood droplet after their first message to me. And instantly I'm like, what's with the blood? You know, like, you talking about like cult stuff, or like, you know, what is going on with that? It's kind of odd, you know. And they said blood sacrifice, did and done, or something, or do done and die, or something like that. And I was like, what are you talking about? You know, and most of the time I just write them off, but I had to stick with the conversation. They had me intrigued. And then they proceeded to tell me, no, I'm basically here to self-sacrifice for the better, greater good of humanity. I would love to meet up with you because you seem like a person who wants to push humanity in the right direction, and you care about humanity and you want to help save humanity, okay? And okay, before I even continue, for entertainment purposes only, guys, anything I say on here, I don't totally pass off as truth. If you believe it, then that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Whether I believe it or not, I mean, I'm sure it does matter to you guys. But most of the stuff, if I'm posting it or presenting it, then most likely I believe some of it. You know what I'm saying? So, but whether you do or not is up to you. I'm not sitting here, and truth be told, I don't know if it's fact. I don't know. Thank you, Steve Miller. I appreciate you, brother. I really do. Thank you. $10 donation. Thank you, Mr. Miller. You're a good man. Appreciate you guys. It means a lot. So I always say FIPO, and I'm thinking about, I'm kind of thinking about coining that term, FIPO, F-E-P-O, and then like, could you, just real quick on a side note, could you guys see that selling? Like FIPO, for entertainment purposes only? I could see people wearing those shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like, because not only would it be like, I'm for entertainment purposes only, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting, FIPO. I've never really seen the acronym, but I feel like it's a term that could be coined. You know what I'm saying? And it would sell. It would be the only shirt that I sold. But I just thought FIPO was kind of an interesting little. Would you buy that? Cool. But okay, yeah. If you guys want to hit me up too, I put my email at the top of my YouTube, NightGod87@ProtonMail. If you have any stories of abductions, or if you have any stories in general, or if you know some information that you think would make good content, go ahead and contact me on there. I always reply to my Proton Mail emails, just so you know. Always. Yeah, the Hopi prophecy is a good one. Yes, it is. I believe they ended up in Middle Earth myself. FIPO, all the way. All right. You'd buy that shirt too? All right, cool. And then actually, on a side note, and I'll get back to my conversation with this ET, but, cause I haven't forgot, but I actually ran into a buddy and I'm super excited. And if you guys, I'm going to throw this out there to you guys too. I'm looking for somebody who can draw designs for graphic tees, like good ones. I want it to be tattoo-esque artistry, like top tier shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to see, and if you guys can draw that, and you can draw well, send me the images. Send me the images on my Proton Mail, NightGod 870 I was born, at Proton Mail. It's secure, it's safe, nobody else sees it but me. So I would like to see images of the Kandahar Giant. I'd like a scene drawn out of the Kandahar Giant. I'd like a scene drawn out of Inner Earth. And I'd also like a scene of any type of extraterrestrials. I mean, you guys, the sky's the limit, you know what I'm saying? The sky's the limit on this. Like, I want to have a multitude of graphics to put on a tee. Giants, duendes, gnomes, I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? Noah's Ark, right? Noah's Ark. But draw Noah's Ark as if it was the future, like it supposedly really was. Draw Noah's Ark as if it was technologically advanced. You know what I'm saying? Do some fringe shit, esoteric type stuff. Ancient Aztecs, communicating with alien. Anything you could think of, bro. Like, and I'm serious. I'll give royalties or whatever too back. I'll make sure you guys get paid. So especially if it pops and it really sells. Like if it really sells and it becomes a novelty, like people buy the hell out of it, I'll give you back royalties all day long. So yeah, no boundaries, y'all. Yeah, I'm a fair man, bro. I will make sure that if a t-shirt popped off and it made $1 million, I'll give you money. Trust. You know what I'm saying? Like, probably like 100 racks. You know what I mean? Like 10%. Like, real talk. 5 or 10%. Yeah, absolutely. 5 or 10%. So, yeah, do stuff like that. And just kind of figured I'd throw it out there. I'm not an artist, you guys. I can't draw for crap. I'm terrible. But my boy I just ran into up at the gas station, he can draw, and he said he's going to try and he's going to draw a few pictures and stuff. But like I said, I want it to be legit, like good and unique. You know, get ideas offline and then kind of go from there. You know what I mean? But I think Inner Earth would sell, y'all. Even, you know, like there you go. Admiral Byrd, bro. Somebody draw me some Admiral Byrd, Operation High Jump. You know what I'm saying? Like, those ideas. There you go. The flood. You know what I mean? Like I said, y'all, the sky is the limit. I will put anything on a tee. You know what I'm saying? As long as it obviously adheres to my content. But yeah, sky's the limit, you know. Admiral Byrd, bro. I love some Admiral Byrd stuff. Operation High Jump, you know what I mean? Area 51, you know. All that type of stuff, you know. Hybrids. Draw some hybrids, bro. They'll sell. So I just think about like Walmart, dude, how all the graphic tees they got. They got all kinds of shit. So, that's that. That's just a little side note. Yes, sir, Dickie Bird. Yeah, so all the artists in here, run it and send it to my Proton Mail, NightGod87 at Proton Mail. Okay, so this extraterrestrial that had hit me up, they had told me that I could ask them virtually any question when it comes to what I need to know, what I want to know. So I haven't actually, I've asked them a few questions, but more or less I asked her or him. I think they said it was Jamie. I'm not sure. I think it's male, but I'm not 100% on that. I asked him if why have the good higher factions stood by and watched humanity be negatively influenced the way we have, and been lied to, you know, about the extraterrestrials quite a bit, and all that stuff. And they said, well, you know, I'm just going to tell you, there's really they said more or less, there's really not time to point fingers. But she said it was a slight mistake, and you know, right now what matters is getting all of humanity on the same page. Okay, I can run with that. But she did say that here's the deal. We need you guys we need a large portion of you on the fifth frequency, the fifth dimension frequency. All right, that's what she said, or he said. I don't know. I felt like it was more of a she, so I'm just gonna run with she. But she said we need more of you, a large percentage, more of you on the fifth frequency. If we can do that, then we can basically more or less, save humanity. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm going, okay, well, what's going on? Type stuff, and she didn't explain exactly what's going on, but I actually, and this wasn't per source from her. This was actually another gentleman who hit me up. I'm not going to reference his name, but he claimed that he knew somebody. And dude, this guy, he shared some shit, y'all, with me. Like, I'm going to kind of be editing what I say, like kind of selective, because, more or less they didn't really want me to say much. But obviously, if I'm not referencing anybody or putting anybody in harm's way, I'm not going to, overshare, but I'm going to share. So what he said was he knew somebody who was very high up in the ranks of NASA. Okay? And this is also for entertainment purposes only. May or may not be true. Could just be some guy making stuff up. But it's pretty cool either way. So he said that he knew somebody high up in NASA, okay, that he could talk to and ask questions to on a whim regularly, anytime. He said that right now there is a large planet close to ours being prepared. Said prepared for what? Well, it's being prepared for the beings of Earth who are love and light and who are inherently good, for us to inhabit, more or less, because I don't know, and I don't know if it, and that's another question I got to ask the ET, because I'm not trying to scare anybody, okay? I'm not trying to scare anybody. I really am not trying to scare anybody. Because, people talk. They have been since the beginning of time. People have been making shit up, right? So it may not be true, but he said that there was this faction of aliens that are good, that they like humanity, they love humanity, they want to see the good ones saved. From what? I don't know. But the ET, this guy wasn't an ET that shared the NASA stuff. The ET told me that, and it's key, they said this is key, the ET told me that they are going to show themselves soon. She kept saying we are going to show ourselves soon. And she said how we are received is going to dictate a lot of what takes place after we show ourselves. Meaning, if we attack, or if we act like scared little ants and run around in circles and panic and attack, you know what I mean? Basically, it's not going to be good. More or less. It's not going to be good. So, and it sucks because of this. This is why that stinks, right? It stinks because we have been totally kept in the dark about the reality of what exists out there. Okay? We have been totally kept in the dark of the reality of extraterrestrials on this planet. I'm not going to point any fingers. Y'all know who. It don't matter who kept us in the dark at this point. It doesn't matter. If we would have been properly and fairly disclosed this information, I said this to her. I said this to the hybrid or the ET. I said, well, if we would have been told and disclosed this information rather than hidden from us, like everything that matters, then maybe we wouldn't receive you guys in a shit manner. Maybe we wouldn't receive you guys in a negative way. if we would have been disclosed the proper information at the time, and it doesn't mean everything. I'm talking simply that aliens exist. That's all. That's what I'm talking about. Simply that aliens exist. If we would have been disclosed this information, then maybe when they finally show up and disclose themselves to us, we wouldn't be firing nukes at them or I mean, obviously government officials know, okay? Government officials know. But, so I doubt we're going to be firing nukes at them. But even so, like, you wouldn't have the total utter chaos that might ensue if people are so mind blown by this thing, right? And another, by the entities, they wouldn't be so taken aback. But another thing that I want to talk about on that note is, people have, you know, even in church and religion, for example, you know how many people, I had this really good conversation with this lady last night on my Facebook Messenger. And she was a religious, born Christian, and she was religious growing up. And she was having a hard time because she's been watching my content, and she's like, finally, you know, somebody who is sharing this information, sharing this type of stuff, without being afraid to share it, without worrying about what others think. You know, because honestly, there's something to be said about this, you guys. Look at all the people who think like we do. Look at all the people who were afraid because of what they thought was real, or what their thought process on the reality of our world is. Look at the number of people who were on the same page. And it's just simply by my TikTok, my YouTube, and all my other platforms. Facebook, 100,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, there's been a lot of people who have thought these types of things, believed in these types of things, but were afraid to disclose it. Thank you, Miss Shannon. I appreciate you. It's good to see you here, hon. So, there's something to be said about that. The mainstream, the media, and the agenda has taught people to cast out or label them as crazy people who, like, the stuff I talk about. Who told me that today? I think my uncle Charlie did. He said, if you had talked about what you talk about now, back in the day, they'd have thrown you in the loony bin. And I don't take that as a joke. Like, I think they really would have thrown me in the loony bin. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of what they did back then. If you knew something, or if you were a abstract thinker and you put this stuff out here, they throw you in the loony bin, then what do they call it? Lobotomize you? Isn't that, like, I think this is graphic, but they go through the eyeball and they poke a pin through your right here, and they scramble you. They basically touch something in the brain, and it totally just renders you more or less a vegetable. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened to the people that used to probably share the content I share today. But that's you know, and that was the part of the problem, right? But I see now slowly, like I was saying I said it on my live the other day, or one of my videos, I couldn't have picked a better time to start sharing this type of content. I really couldn't have. Because disclosure is happening, and the truth is happening fast. It's happening fast. Look how mainstream giants have become. Before TikTok, I would have laughed at the idea of giants. And now it's spilling over to YouTube and other platforms. I hate to say it, but TikTok did open the world up in a way to a plethora of information. And what's cool is it's shared from individual to individual, and it's shared firsthand experiences And that's what's so cool, excuse me, about the TikTok algorithm. It's awesome because it takes, based on your likes, comments, views, it mashes them up into this soup, and then it makes like soup for like viewers all throughout the platform. So you get categorized over here as a alien, Sasquatch, giant, folklore, fantastical believer. You know what I mean? And it made it so people weren't feeling. It made it so people in our genre weren't feeling so alone, which is really big. It's truly special. Like, because I think some people really take it to heart. It really hurts them. So I no longer, for example, like my mom, right? I love my mom. She's the best. She wasn't super on board. She's never been like anti-conspiracy, because, she's a realist. She understands that, it's possible, right? But I actually saw her comment on something the other day on a shot from Google Earth, and it had this anomaly in the water that was bubbling. And somebody tried saying, "Oh, that's a boat," and she goes, "That's obviously not a boat." And I was like, "Yeah, get him out." It was pretty cool. But so now I'm even able to talk to her a little bit about this type of stuff, which is really cool, man. And share it with people, whether they like it or not. You can open minds. So somebody said something to me the other day too. I remember when I first started watching your videos, I laughed and scoffed at them. But he's like, slowly I started to look into things, and I started to open my eyes, and now I'm a big fan. And it's like, cool. That's what I'm trying to do out here, right? Get us all on the same page. And it don't matter. Like I said, I don't present everything as truth. I guarantee you guys, I got some videos out there that aren't true. I have to. Maybe they are a little off base or a lot off base. It's hard to say, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, it's been a absolute trip. It's been awesome, and you guys are what make it. So, thank you for not being afraid to stand up for what you all believe in. So like I said, I've been getting messages, odd ones. This gentleman hit me up about NASA and a large planet. Okay, a large planet being just next to our planet, made by extraterrestrials as a planet for us to inhabit. Maybe while something runs its course on Earth. I don't know 100%. I'm not going to say it's like the rapture. I'm not going to sit there and say like that. You know what I mean? But because I don't like getting into that. The biblical stuff. The Bible has a lot of truths. But I'm not going to sit here and say it's the end of days. I don't like pushing that agenda because you know what? I don't want it to be the end of days yet. Give us like 100 more years, 200 more years or something, man. Like, for real. I just started making it in life. No. But I noticed that, like you say, the way they are received is going to be a big indicator of how humanity gets treated. Okay? And it's unfortunate because I get so many messages from people in comments from religious people who say aliens are demons. They are all demons. They're not, no in between. There's no in between. That's what they are. That's what they stick to. And you aren't going to tell them different. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, what a more or less tainted thought, more or less contaminated thought process on the extraterrestrials. In life, there is always equal and opposite forces. In life, you have yin and yang, as above, so below. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the gift there. I appreciate you. So, if there's evil aliens, then there has to be good ones, okay? One lady, like I said, I had a good conversation with her yesterday. She goes, well, if there's an inner earth, the Bible says that all that is below is a fiery inferno. So they're evil. They're in hell. No. If there's underground, sure, hell of a chance that there is an evil faction underground as well. Hell of a chance that some of the underworld is a fiery inferno. Okay? But yin and freaking yang, y'all. No way it's just fiery inferno. There is a good faction down there as well. Then I said this. I sent her a link to my video on Admiral Richard Byrd. I said, watch this video. And I said this. I said that, and I'll be honest with you guys right now. Admiral Richard Byrd's videos have been some of the most held back that I've posted. And I see it firsthand. Admiral Richard Byrd videos have been some of the, probably not some, the most held back information I've posted. Meaning suppressed, meaning not shared, meaning not opened up to viral status. They have a way of doing that. They can just click on a video and they can go, we'll just kind of withhold that one a little bit. What they do is they make it so it doesn't go to the public. It only goes to your subs or your followers. That's how that works. I'm almost sure of it. They can let you go to the For You page or they don't have to. And if they don't, then it's just your subs or your followers that are watching. So your numbers take a massive hit. Right? I've kind of noticed that. See Derek Pryor, that's where you're wrong, my guy. But I've kind of tended to notice that, like right now, I haven't had any of my longer videos on YouTube go viral yet. And that just could be a thing. I'm not saying that they're holding them back at all, but that could just be a thing. Because I'm so new. I mean, dude, you guys, I've had my YouTube for a while, but I just started it. So, like, I just started getting somewhere. So, I mean, I probably got 100,000 followers or subs in a month. Close to it. Hasn't been much more once I started going viral on the shorts feature. But anyway, Admiral Richard Byrd stuff has been more held back than anything I've ever posted. And then, especially the one where I read the Lost Diaries verbatim. You know what I mean? Especially the one where I read the Lost Diaries verbatim. Okay? So, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why. Alright? So I told her that, and I told her to watch them and then tell me Middle Earth's not real. Or Inner Earth's not real. My chats are a little different tonight on YouTube. I'm not seeing them as well. I know I'm getting a lot of chats, but I don't know why they're not stacking like they were. So, hey, Trippy Viking Cultivation, what is up, bro? What is up, my guy? Dude, I used to follow, cause you know, I have my own endeavor going on with that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, dude, I watch your Facebook page, dude. I checked it all the time, guy. Good to see you out. Good to see you, bro. Cool. Must have saw me on Facebook. That's what's up. Stay trippy. I love it, dog. I love it. You got a good outfit going there. I dig it, bro. But, yeah, so, yeah, of course I'm being monitored, I'm sure. You know what I mean? I watched, so you guys know Upchurch. Upchurch, right? He was on a video saying how Instagram banned him because he made the list of top 100 people or creators or people to be monitoring in America, right? Yeah, heck yeah. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. I love it. Yeah, you guys give out good prizes, dude. And it seems to be popping pretty good. I haven't checked your guys' status in a while there on Trippy Viking Cultivation. If you guys are into the Mota, check her out. It's good stuff. Check that page out. Maybe check him out, but, you know, check it out. It's good stuff. Informative, all that. got your back. And they're a good community. That's one thing I've noticed about all of uh, those types of communities on Facebook, dude. There is never any hate. There is never any hate on those. It's amazing. They are all positivity. You know, you get your occasional people that laugh at a noob when they think they got a female and it's a male, you know, or something like that. But for the most part, everybody's really friendly. Everybody's really open and informative. Like, I remember when I first started, I thought, how cool is this that this community openly shares tricks and traits with each other, skills, tactics, without being like, oh, I'm not telling anybody how to do mine or how I do it. You know what I'm saying? Nah. They've been all awesome, dude. Just the way they approach is very cool. Like, truly, that's the epitome of what everybody on the planet should be rocking right now. For real. Love, and it just mad love, bro. Like, nothing but mad love. That's what people should be rocking right now. Like, I'm telling you guys, if we do that, it'll change everything. It'll change the world, right? It'll change the world. And I'm not even kidding. Yeah, heck yeah. Good stuff, Misty. But it will. It'll change the world, y'all. And I don't know how else to put it. It just, be kind, you know? That's it. It's so easy. And that's what, but it's so hard. Like, I was talking to my uncle today about it, and, you know, I'm worried. Like, I'm worried about, you know, this guy, this ET that hit me up or whatever, the hybrid, claiming to be a hybrid. No, I have not talked to Stephen Quale at all. Um, Quail. I always do that. Quale. Like Wale. Quail. Stephen Quail. No, I haven't talked to him or anything like that. I tried to do a little quick collab with Peter Kane because I want to talk to Peter Kane. But, yeah, it does scare me, you guys. I think it can be done, but this ET that hit me up wanted to meet up, and I'm always leery about meeting up, just because you don't know, man. Like, if you're an ET, can't you just fly to me, bruh? Like, no, like, seriously though, like, can't you just meet me in my backyard, bro? Like, where I can have the old, you know, where I can be comfortable and safe. Like, okay, yeah, the NASA info. The NASA info. All right. This stuff's touchy. I don't know. It's scary. It's scary to share a little bit. So I know that they pushed this agenda, right? That NASA might be in cahoots with the wrong side of things to us. But I'm being told that it's possibly the exact opposite. Okay? I know they receive a lot of hate. A lot of people dislike NASA. But I'm being told that they're on the right side. They're the good guys. Okay? They're the good guys. So, supposedly what happened is possibly that no, they're not. They're NASA is a good they're for humanity. They're good. Okay? I'm being told what happened was they approached Eisenhower, the extraterrestrials. They approached Eisenhower, okay? And they said this, let me explain more. I know, see, everybody, I'm seeing it in the comments right now. Everybody thinks NASA's evil. They're not. Just stop. Just wait and hear me out. Because that's the agenda that would be pushed if they were in fact good. They would push the masses to think the wrong way about them. And maybe they did it. Who knows? Because they want to be quiet about what they're doing. This is all for entertainment purposes only, y'all. Okay? May or may not be true. I don't know. But this gentleman told me that when the ETs approached Eisenhower, the first set of ETs to approach Eisenhower were the Nordics. Okay? The Nordics. They called them. And they said this: we will trade you technology if you lay down the nukes. This is shortly after the atomic bomb in World War II. Okay? Because when we drop these bombs, it affects every being throughout our galaxy and our solar system. It's a time-space thing. When you drop a nuke, it dimensionally shifts things. I don't know how or what. That's beyond my realm of thinking. I don't know. It definitely does. It does throw off a time shift, type anomaly, I guess. So they wanted us to lay down the nukes, and they wanted us as USA, because we were the Omega as far as societies went back then. Our standing in the world, you know what I mean? We basically just said, if we want to make you our bitch, we will. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of. And so that's why they approached Eisenhower, okay? But they wanted him to spread the word to other nations of power and say, hey guys, here's the deal. These extraterrestrials approached me, and they said if we lay down the nukes, they'll introduce us to their tech. What a fucking good deal. That seems simple. I would do it, wouldn't you? Yeah. But unfortunately, when things like this happen, and that's one thing I kind of bitched to this supposed hybrid talking to me. I says, when you guys come down here and you guys, dude, like I said, call me stupid, you know, maybe I'm wacko, whatever. But why not approach it as if it's possible? To me. If I approach it as if it's possible, then I'll figure out whether it's real or not. If I approach it instantly and I'm like, oh, and just blow them off, I'll never know, right? It's easy to say, oh, they're just full of shit. There's some follower who wants clout. Of course, sure, I think that. Absolutely, that crosses my mind. But if you don't continue the conversation, at least continue it, you'll never find out for sure. What if they were a freaking ET? You know what I mean? What if they were real? So, yeah, I approach it as if it's real. So I said this to them. When you come down here and you talk to these leaders, these political leaders and these government factions, these government entities, you're not getting the opinion of the whole. You're not getting the opinion of the masses. You're asking a finite group of individuals who don't necessarily have the interests of the whole at heart. They're supposed to, but yeah, we're supposed to do a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you not lay down the nukes? At that point, what? So you're thinking like this. Okay, I lay down the nukes, then what? Other countries don't. They hide them and they attack. Well, I promise you, if that happens, the alien tech you were about to receive would be much more advanced than those nukes, and you'd be able to shut them down midair. Because guess what? Aliens have done that. Supposedly there was a nuke that was actually shot off during the Cold War that was shut down midair by an alien faction. Okay? I have video of it. Go check out my shorts. I have video of it. This was during, now this wasn't the Cold War necessarily, but this was during, supposedly, it was during the Kennedy admin. And Kennedy was supposedly a hybrid, by the way. This was supposedly during the Kennedy admin. You can see the nuke flying in the air. And this film came off from a fighter pilot's, from a jet. From a U.S. Navy fighter pilot. Okay? He confirmed this film. As the rocket's going up, you can literally see a saucer fly up to it, literally toy with it. Like, this thing is going Mach, bro. This thing is going way faster than the speed of sound and shit. Like, this thing is going probably 3,000 miles an hour. I'm not sure. Probably something around there. And this saucer just flies up next to it, goes around it, just like it's backyard play here. This is nothing. They scan it, and then, or well, it looks like they scan it, but I'm thinking they use some type of beam technology to get in there and more or less disengage it. Sorry, I think I'm hearing something at my door. That's weird. Okay, anyway. They more or less scan it, and it literally stops. I don't have the video of it stopping, but I have the video of the alien going around it and then stopping above it and scanning it. Okay? And then it supposedly shuts down in midair. All right? So that's the type of tech we sacrifice by not shutting our nukes down, not letting them go. And, you know what I mean? At least this is supposedly the case. Now, and that wasn't the first time Eisenhower met with aliens. He did 3 times. And I don't care. You could challenge that information all you want. Go check out his great-granddaughter. I want to say his great-granddaughter or his granddaughter, maybe. Maybe it was his granddaughter. But yeah, that'd be more accurate probably as far as the generations go. But his granddaughter, who had all kinds of information, had a lot of notes, had a lot of left behind journals and all this. She looked into it and found that it's verified. It's absolutely true. He met with aliens 3 times. Okay? Now, after he said no to the Nordics, the Greys showed up. And all they did was say, well, we'll give you cloning technology for allowing us to abduct a few of your people every year for hybrid testing, hybridization experiments. Huh? What do you think he said to that? Oh, cloning tech? Oh. They realized later that they got bamboozled and rouged. The fucking trade wasn't fair at all. Excuse my language. The trade wasn't even remotely fair. They thought what they thought was, at the time, cloning tech, oh my God, we'll be able to make organs. We'll be able to make replica body parts of people. And maybe we'll figure out how to live forever. Yeah. What a joke. You know what I mean? For one, that's not how you live forever. There are much easier other ways. It's not cloning. You know, monatomic gold, primordial soup, black goo, make you live forever. Supposedly. Have I seen it firsthand? No. No, I have not. Hold on here. of that. All right. Here, hold on, too. I want to just check outside the door real quick. Make sure my dog ain't out there. Come on, kitty. Come on. Hurry up. Come on. Fucking weirdo. Pain in the ass. Okay. No. It was probably the cat, but she just ran off again. I was like, why don't you come in? Like, what the hell? She gets jumpy. But, yeah, so he said, sure, we'll trade you. We'll let you abduct some people. The only thing was there was a deal on that said you have to bring them back by morning, and they have to be more or less. They want them to be treated as if they wanted them to be treated right, the abductees, and they wanted them to not know, more or less, blackout type thing, like where they don't remember, kind of like in MIB, the ping, shoo, and then you don't remember nothing. So that was the deal, and then that's when abductions started taking place. I'm not sure if it was I've heard actually that it was the Zetas that he made this deal with, the Zeta Reticuli aliens. Could have been the Maters. Not really 100% sure on that, but yeah. And also, this was another piece of the puzzle, or part of the deal. They told Eisenhower where to start making an underwater, Area 51. An underwater Area 51. Hey, I'm liking those YouTube numbers, my peoples. I love that. I love it. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. So, why did they tell Eisenhower to make the underwater Area 51? It's over in the Bahamas. You can look it up. It's Autech Industries, or Autech Military Base. AUTEC. It's Underwater Tactical Equipment Center, or tactical, something like that, something along those lines. Somebody in my comments help me out with that. I can't look it up right now. America Underwater Tactical, I don't know, but basically they're making USOs, underwater submergible or unidentified submergible objects, but they're making USOs. And this is more or less confirmed. I had a gentleman, and I still need to get him on a podcast or a live. He doesn't want to be disclosed as who he is because he had to sign disclaimers and all kinds of agreements as far as that goes. Non-disclosure agreements. So he wanted his voice. He went as far as to say, I don't even want my voice on there. I need my voice masked as well. But he was on a Navy sub, a fast attack nuclear sub destroyer type sub. The best, basically the creme de la creme, the best of the best. They're the top level nuclear subs right now. And he said that he made many a trip to Autech industry, or Autech military base. And he said, more or less that, the stuff going on there is super technologically advanced. So why did they tell them to build Autech where they did? Well, rumor has it. Now, this is a rumor. It's always for entertainment purposes only. I got to keep them numbers up. So, I gotta just pull stuff out of, I write my own stuff, I make it all up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that good. I'm not that good. My imagination isn't that crazy. No, so they told him to do it there. They told him to build this base there because he would be able to harvest the energy from some of Atlantis's ruins. Some of Atlantis's ruins. All right. Great-granddaughter. Thank you, Trippy Viking. Thank you, brother. Eisenhower's great-granddaughter. So I did say great. Wasn't 100% sure if it was great or But yes, great granddaughter. Thank you, bro. So they built them, or they built the Autech military base in the Bahamas. And what else is by there? And it's right off. Now, Autech isn't quite in this area, but what is right off the Bahamas? Well, you got the Bermuda Triangle. Okay? After I had heard this, my first thought was, well, there you go. That's why the Bermuda Triangle is the Bermuda Triangle, because it has ruins from Atlantis in it. Okay? You're talking... So, okay. Thank you, Misty. Atlantic Undersea Test and Evaluation Center. That's awesome. Thank you, hon. I really appreciate you for that. And did you have a hard time finding that? Was it a little tricky? Because I know that when I went to look up Autech, it was kind of vague. It was hard to see. Yeah, exactly. That's all you could do. Watch. Yeah, so if you want to verify what I'm saying about Eisenhower, watch his great-granddaughter online. She's online. And she actually did a show on history once too. History Channel. That's who she's rubbing elbows with. You know what I'm saying? Those top tier, the top tier theorists in the game. You know what I mean? So, your Billy Carsons, stuff like that. So, and actually, I have heard, and I like Billy Carson, but I've heard, and it's always like, it seems like any celebrities, there's rumors of them being part of the occult or whatever, the agenda. I don't know, but I doubt it. He seems pretty legit, but yeah. So she's rubbing elbows with these type of people and confirming that Eisenhower met with aliens. Okay, so ETs exist. All right, how we receive them is going to be a big indicator as to how they react. All right, now I imagine it's not like the population has access to any type of super advanced weaponry. I mean, basically we get ARs and that's about it. All right. So it's not like the masses are going to react in a super negative way. It's more or less on how our government reacts to them. All right. But on the NASA stuff as well, I'll go back to the NASA stuff. So apparently after these ETs got turned down, the good faction, by the way, got turned down by Eisenhower. After this, who did they approach? NASA. All right? Because of their standing, as far as space travel, all of it. All right? They approached NASA, and apparently they said, we want to help the cause. We want to help the cause. So at that point on, NASA is actually a part of the Allied system. In theory, or supposedly, a part of the Allied system. Meaning they are out for humanity. They want to work. What's happening, Caesar? Good to see you, brother. They want to work with the good alien factions. And they want to help humanity. Now, certain things have they skewed and hidden? Yeah. Okay. Yes, they have. I've heard that it's possible that they're actually, I don't know. I don't like saying it because it makes me nervous to say. That they're playing both. That they're playing both sides. All right? Passing off as, but I don't know. They could be passing off as good but inherently evil too. It's hard to say. That all could just be made up, right? But I'm going to tell you that they've done some good things. They've done some great things. Have they hidden certain things? Sure. I'm not sure why yet. Maybe they were told to. Like what they really found on the moon. Okay? There you go. If the game is rigged, change the game. I like that. Jimmy Church. Pretty good. And that's changing the game, right? So, and they do have infiltrators. So, one of the things that I was like, well, what do you mean, dude? I've heard that NASA more or less will willingly and openly, like, more or less willingly and openly, like, knock people off who are sharing information. I guess they're knocking the people off that they find are double agents, infiltrators, who are actually working for the opposing force. And they have them often. Often. So, a smidge, and this next part, I can't absolutely verify because I'm just not allowed to. I can't say for sure. But I noticed that more of it's getting shared. So I'm actually a little more willing to talk about it now. I've noticed that it's getting willingly shared and more or less leaked lately. And like I said, it's the age of disclosure right now. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm not 100% sure if, like I say, none of this is 100% verifiable. Nothing is. Nothing. Okay? So, anyway, supposedly, and I saw some absolutely amazing footage. Amazing footage. Intriguing footage. This dude on TikTok, right? This gentleman on TikTok, he was sharing all of it. All this footage, raw footage that he had. I don't know how he got it. Maybe, I don't know. I have no clue, like, how he got it, to be honest. But he had footage of, in who knows, like I said, and I don't mean to keep doing that, guys. I'm not trying to be annoying. I'm just trying to CYA, cover my ass. He had amazing footage of Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Cooper, I don't remember the last one, of them in a structure. And did you guys, on that note, did you see China's video of their little rover on the moon where they found a structure? The rover found a picture, or took a picture, and they saw a square structure. Trippy Bike, you love it. Chat is fire too. I'm almost 2. Love it. I'm not seeing as much as you guys are. I don't know why. I don't know if there's a little lag, but I love it. Keep chatting it up. That's what's up, man. This is what it's about. That's what it's about. So, China recently shared a video, or a picture or image of the moon that they have, a little rover on the moon, and it looked like there was a square anomaly at the back of the photo. And it looked like a structure. They called it a hut. All right? Well, I got better yet for you. Let me just put it that way. I got better than a hut for you. The footage I saw, Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong. I think Cooper may have been the one behind the camera. But they were on the moon, and it was the first trip. It was the first trip when they found nothing. All right? When they found nothing. It's said that if you watch the initial footage, if you watch footage of the first moon travelers, Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and all that, the first guys to land on the moon, if you watched footage of them getting off from the plane, I imagine it was a plane, when they got picked up in the ocean or whatever, then they probably had to fly back to the NASA base. If you look at their faces, there's not a look of elation. There's not a look of success. There's not a look of, I just landed on the moon and I'm forever going to go down in history as a hero. And I will always be a celebrity-like individual for the rest of my life. And I probably will get, there's not a look of happy at all. Watch it. You'll be like, those guys look like they just came back from a funeral. Why? Well, because they were told that they could not share what they found with humanity. They wanted to. They were eager to. They were excited to. They were told they could not share what they found with humanity. And if they did, well, they didn't. Because they didn't want to end up disappearing. Okay? Imagine that. Imagine finding this stuff on the moon. Finding evidence of ancient, super advanced civilizations on the moon. Much more advanced than us at that point. Still much more advanced than us today. And the elation that you'd feel in your heart and your soul and your gut, the first thought you would be is, oh my God, wait till I come back to him. Wait till I go back to home. Wait till they hear it. Wait till they hear it. Until your lead official chimes over the mic and says, and truth be told, I don't think they told them that they weren't allowed to share it until they got back. I don't think they told them at the moment on the moon. So I think they found out on the way home. Hey guys, by the way, this is top secret information. If you share it, it'll end you. It'll end your career. Probably you can't even, you're talking they couldn't even probably share it with their wives at home. You know what I'm saying? So, the footage I saw, excuse me, they were in a building that seemed like an airport. It was set up very much like, a administrative type airport building was. It had offices, it was all a cement structure, built elaborately. They said the walls and everything were smooth to the touch. Whoever or whatever built it had very advanced tech. And it was slightly in ruins, all right, of course, but mostly intact, all right, mostly intact. So they were filming all this, filming the structure, in just absolute awe at what they had found. And it was massive. They said it was, I want to say they said it was like a mile or so long. So they discover this, and then they discover other type structures. Basically, more or less, found proof that advanced civilizations had once established themselves on the moon. All right. Now, they kept going back. And then they retired, but then the 1980s, it was actually the year 1980, a USA and Russian team of astronauts combined forces and went to the moon. Okay? Now, what they found on the moon was much more intriguing than just some buildings. Okay? And this is all, for entertainment purposes only. So they would stumble upon, or actually, I'm gonna just put it out there. They had already seen it. They had already seen the anomaly via, I don't know, possibly satellite. I'm not 100% sure, or like a little rover of sorts. But so the U.S. and Russia combined a team, and they went to the moon with this mission and this in mind, this strategy or this goal in mind. They had found a UFO, a ship. They had found a ship. All right. That looked like it had been more or less shot down. There was a big hole in it. But it didn't look like the hole was from an explosion. It looked like it was from a direct energy weapon, a beam, a laser. It literally fried a hole in the whole thing. Okay? So the ship, its hatch or whatever in the back was open. So you could freely walk onto it. All right? And when they got on the ship, it was set up very unique. What did they say? They said they had the quarters in the bottom, the quarters where they lived in the bottom. The middle section had a circular-like anomaly that somehow transferred electricity. And then it had conductors of some sort running all the way around it. If you look online, you can find similar things, similar motors or electric motors, if you will. But basically, they used electromagnetic forces to fly this thing. And they figure they reach speeds, and obviously they could even travel possibly dimensionally. Okay. Well, on the top tier is where they ended up finding the captain. And then she had, I want to say, two co-captains to help her fly the ship. All right. Her. Did you hear that? Her. The captain was a female. And due to it being so cold in space and on the moon, her body was preserved very well. Her body was very well preserved. Along with the co-captains, they were not so well preserved, but they were slightly preserved. But the most preserved was the captains. In the vicinity, they also found parchment paper written in a language they could not quite understand or read. But the way it wrote, they said that they could cram a lot of information into a small sentence. Unlike how we communicate. We kind of have long, drawn out communication. Their communication was like ergonomic. So it was quick. It was a lot that they could get out with just minimal talking. It was efficient. So they figured this being was hyper intelligent, and that she actually was an inhabitant of Earth, possibly a hybrid, but not quite sure. She looked Oriental in nature. She was actually she was actually in an alive self. You know, if you had met her in person, she was beautiful. Long black hair, big lips, big luscious lips. You know what I'm saying? Like, she had the structure. She reminded me of Angelina Jolie, except a little more Oriental looking. She had a odd bump, like in the middle of her forehead, right? They didn't know what it was for. It was tattooed as well. They hadn't figured out whether she was on the good side or the bad side. They don't know 100% for sure yet, I guess. But they know that she was a super advanced, highly qualified captain. She made the men around her feel inferior. They said that she was a almost hardened and ruthless captain. But she was one of the best, they figure. She was one of the best. Okay? Now, what's the weirder part of all is she had like, it's like shit you see in the movies. Like you say, whether it's real or not, who knows? Cool story. She had these weird mechanisms on her face, all right? 2 of them going down to her lips, like this. Then they went from her lips to her eyes. Her eyes were closed. She had the anomaly. She had 2 like anomalies over her eyes. Then those 2 anomalies tied into here. They were tubular from each spot. Right? What they figured was she was using that to fly the ship. She would speak it, see it, transfer it. And whatever she thought would happen. Meaning, probably she could think about destinations, maybe end up there. They're not sure. But she could talk it, see it, manifest. Really cool. Really freaking cool. Again, they're not sure whether or not she was on the good or bad side. Some think that, I don't even know if some think, this is just my theory. This was my own theory. You're talking back to the Third Great Earth War. That's where she was from. In my theory, my opinion. She was part of that. Between the Atlanteans, the Lemurians, Anunnaki were involved. It was for possibly partly the enslavement of us and allowing us to be free. So And I've always theorized that this time the Earth was much, much, much more advanced. And actually, based on one of my good friends, Monstro, his grandfather, based on his grandfather's testimony about the third Great Earth War, I just had pretty much figured that yes, these civilizations were absolutely super advanced. They were a melting pot. Aliens fought alongside humans. Humans fought alongside animals. Animals fought alongside Sasquatch. All right? Everybody became one for the greater good of all. And it didn't matter who. It was, I mean, you're talking, I'm not even kidding, mermaids, bro. Underwater beings. It's said that at this time, the vibration of Earth was so high that you could communicate through telepathy. You could even supposedly communicate with the animals. And they were all involved in this Earth War. It's the third one that took place. For Earth. For the ownership and the running of Earth. Okay? So, what else did they find? She had this, what they called it like a blanket of sorts, like a space age type blanket, sewn to half of her body, as if it was like a tattoo, but it was actually physical. Okay? It was actually sewn, or more or less, not even sewn, like, I want to say integrated. Integrated. Now, what are we talking about? What is my video about? Now, my most recent. Antarctica super soldiers. Hybrids. She was transhuman. She was a half AI robotic hybrid human with robotics instilled in her body. In theory. Because nobody knows. She ain't alive to tell us. And if you look at some of the pictures, you can find pictures, guys. Look it up. Use DuckDuckGo and look it up. I think there's some YouTube videos on it as well. They figure that this integration allowed her to have super strength. She was super fast, highly intelligent. This all was integrated within her. Some say that she was dark, but I don't know. Whatever actually took her out was straight badass. Whoever did and whatever did. Was just took her out was straight badass. Whoever did and whatever did. Was just, it was easy. It was like, it was simple. They said based on the looks on the faces of the co-captains, they were like, oh shit, when they saw what was coming. They were more or less like, oh shit, we're fried. They shot a hole in it with their whatever they did, and at that moment, they obviously were, they suffocated and froze to death. They call her Mona Lisa Apollo 20, by the way. Thank you, commenter. So, that was one thing they found. Also found full-on cityscapes, colonies, communities, if you will. All right? Now, this is hard to fathom. and I saw it in a video. This is hard to fathom, but they said that they found a building on the moon 15 miles tall. I don't know how you can fathom that, but you can. It's really tall. 15 miles tall, okay? They also stated in one portion the moon was rampant with gold. Gold everywhere. They described this area as having a mountain that they could tell was made of pure gold. Like you said, this is lore. It's like the movies, man. Even if it's not true, it's cool to think about. A mountain of pure gold. Now, where would that come from? I don't know. Well, didn't the alien faction known as the Anunnaki come here because they needed gold to replenish their atmosphere? So most likely they had an outpost, a place on the moon where they were processing gold. Why did they like gold? Because it was the only element that was able to be ground into the finest powder possible. That when they shot it up to the atmosphere, it suspended on Nibiru. On Nibiru. That's why they wanted gold. And based on the Book of Enki, they knew it was there because of the war between the sun god and Tiamat. And when Tiamat was taken out, she exploded. Half of her became the asteroid belt. The other half became Earth. But when Tiamat and the sun god, they called him, oh, I forget his name. Dang it, that sucks. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember his name. It was like, I don't know. It's like, it's something like Anu, but it wasn't quite Anu. I keep on saying Anu, but it wasn't quite Anu. But, when they wed and they married, and that's why sometimes I speculate that possibly at one time the Earth could have been an actual living physical entity. I know it sounds crazy, but after you read the Book of Enki and the battle that took place between Tiamat and the gods, more or less, the gods of good, the great gods, and then Nibiru was born of the sun. Nibiru took out Tiamat. And they talked of the battle as if it was two living entities. Really interesting. But they said that, and this is a hunch, this was actually just a hunch from one of the Anunnaki kings who was dethroned by Anu. Okay? The father of Enki and Enlil. He was dethroned, so he fled Nibiru, came to Earth based on a story that he had heard or read in some of the Anunnaki archives while he was king. The battle between Tiamat and Nibiru. It was said that Tiamat was given a gift from her husband, and that the sun and Tiamat, which was supposed, if we're talking planets, I believe they were living entities. When they had their first child, the father blessed Tiamat with pure gold and liquefied gold and plenty of it. He blessed her with this element that at the time they called gold. They didn't know exactly, but now if you consume this, you can live forever. It's called monatomic gold. Okay? That's the theory. Monoatomic gold. Single atom gold. Purest is pure. If you consume it, it can actually help you with life longevity. Okay? He gave it to Tiamat, and she consumed it. So it became a part of her. And you guys, if it is known, if you watch Mud Fossil, we have finite amount of gold running through our veins. Finite amount of monoatomic gold running through our veins. Okay? So she had piles of it because she was a massive being. I don't know if they were like, I've been trying to figure out what they were. All right? I don't believe that they were just a couple planets that were mating and making these other planets. It doesn't make sense. There had to be some sort of living entities. They kept talking about the above waters and the below waters. The above waters and the below waters. So maybe they were, I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. I don't know. That's one question of life that I'm like I haven't really theorized it. And, well, I have tried, but that's one that really escapes me. What they could have been. I don't believe they were just planets. I believe they were living, breathing entities that died and became planets. And then were able to still live in roundabout ways. Produce life, primordial soup. Produce living beings, living entities. Or be able to sustain living life. Okay? I'm not sure on that. They could have just been planets as well. I'm not trying to sit here and, say all that. But anyway, this king knew, based on this story, that Tiamat had gold running through her veins. What do they call it when you strike gold? You hit a vein. Right? And there's massive veins throughout all of Earth of gold. Where do you think the Grand Canyon came from, y'all? The Grand Canyon was a gold mine, literally. It was a vein of gold that was harvested. That's theory, anyway. So he knew that Earth would have plenty of gold. He came here, scanned it with his advanced tech type beam, and he said it came back with a positive for gold like nothing he'd ever seen. Nibiru has hardly any gold. And that's what brought them here. That's what brought the Anunnaki here. He relayed the message back to the current king. That's when they came here. And then they inhabited Earth. Then that's when the fallen would come to Earth and breed the daughters of men. After they created man to harvest their gold. Then this great Earth War broke out over that. And then I'm sure there was more things. I'm sure there was other things. So that's where your gold mountain on the moon probably comes from. It was transferred from Earth to the moon via the Anunnaki. Okay? So there you have it. So a lot going on the moon that people, and could NASA really disclose that at the time? Hard to say. I know, when I talk to the older generations about what I know and what I've read and what I've heard, my information, they just more or less scoff at me. And some people, they literally get angry. Some people literally get angry. And over here on YouTube, if you guys want me to read your comment out loud, I would love, or if you donate, I will always read your comment out loud. Just a thought. Okay. One of these days, I'm going to do a live over here where only the members can talk. Or only the members can comment. Or members only live where it's open comments, open talk, communicating on the full. Okay, now, Antarctica's super soldier bases. Okay? If you guys watch my video, I do a quick recap in the beginning. Alright? But I did a part 1 and a part 2. Apparently, and somebody had already, of course, somebody challenged me on the information. Why would they have, you have some of the smartest scientists in the world, and so why would they have this woman come down and, not that they were saying anything about her being a woman. I wasn't trying to make this sound like that. Sorry, I wasn't trying to portray such things. But why would they have this female come down there just to fix their computers? It doesn't make any sense. You have some of the smartest lab scientists in the world. Why would they have her and then show her the whole facility? I mean, at the end of the day, why not? She's obviously high clearance, high level security clearance, and just because they know biology doesn't mean they know computer programming. And I imagine it's pretty elaborate computer programming. And you're talking security systems. Okay? What had happened was this hybrid being, it was a hybrid being crossed with human. So basically every one of them have human. This one was crossed with reptilian. It was green, 7 feet tall, very muscular, had claws for hands, and it broke out of one of the regeneration tanks, is what they call them. The regeneration tanks. These tanks, they harnessed every being. Every being had one of these tanks, is what she said. And the entire facility and lab was lined with them, as far as the eye could see. Depending on which portion of the lab you were in, she stated, was dependent on what they crossed the human with. They were crossing with amphibious DNA, reptilian, reptoid, dragonoid DNA, wolf DNA, tiger DNA. And they were able to splice it together and then cross it with the human genome. They could even do hybrid reptilian, crossed with wolf, crossed with like amphibian, crossed with gargoyle. The one that intrigued me was gargoyle, bro. Like, what? Where did you find some gargoyle DNA? Wild. And it's wild too because this lady, who I'm pretty sure, like, want to say she was from Jamaica. She sent me images one time, and she's like, "Do you see it?" And I was like, "Well, kinda. I don't know what you're looking at. I have a vision for this shit. I can see all this type of shit. It takes an extra, I don't know. It takes practice to see anomalies in pictures where it's not crystal clear. I know I see it all the time on Google Earth. I can see anomalies and pick them up much quicker than most. If you're a Google Earther, you know what I mean. And it's not pareidolia. I know that's a phenomenon. It's not pareidolia. I'm sorry, but pareidolia was made up. It's true, yes, you see faces in a lot of things. But pareidolia was coined to discredit people from looking into things like seeing faces all over the surface of the earth on Google Earth. They're not just fake. You know what I mean? They're freaking real. They're there. Okay? Check it out for yourself. All you have to do when you go on these sites and you go on Google Earth, all you have to do, literally, is look for abstract or patterns that do not look random. That's that simple. Look for patterns that catch your eye. That aren't just random. Structured. grid-like lines that are straight, parallel, grid-like, odd angles, square. All that. You'll pick them up. It's easy. Patterns. Some guy just messaged me. He's like, bro, ever since I saw your video, I've been on Antarctica. Holy shit. Yeah, holy shit. I've found pyramids everywhere. If you know what you're looking for, you can. Alright? So, she sent me this picture, and I said, could you send it again and circle what you're seeing? She circled it, and oh my fucking lord, excuse my language, gargoyle. It looked just like one, dude, in her trees in her backyard. She's like, ever since I've started looking at them, and they know that I could see them, they keep coming back. I said, yeah, you need to, it looked at least, it was at least reptilian. But I says, you need to quit acting like you could see them. When you look at them, act like you can't. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. You know, if you acknowledge something and let them know, sometimes when you see things, they'll be like, ooh, I got his attention. I could, you know, he could see me. I want to go see him. You know what I mean? And they want acknowledgement. So, yeah, I love that gargoyle show. Hell yeah. And what else was gargoyle in? Have you ever seen the movie I, Frankenstein? Where they had gargoyles? I, Frankenstein is one of the coolest movies ever, dude. I recommend it to everybody. Testament of Solomon, eh? How's everybody doing over here on Instagram? So, y'all, I had a request to join, huh? Looks like she's kind of cute, dude. So I'm going to go to Facebook real quick over here on Instagram. See if I can get my numbers up over there a little bit. Love you guys. Sorry, y'all. I'll be back in 2 seconds with you. I'm going to try and go to Facebook here. For some reason, I thought... Sorry, I'm not meaning to yell. For some reason, I thought that I was supposed to be able to get donations on my lives on Instagram. I know I had that option, but I don't know why it wasn't working. So that's why I skipped on Facebook today. But I'm going to go to Facebook real quick. Really, all that matters, though, is YouTube. You guys are killing it tonight. What I love about you YouTubers, too, like, you're not like you're not like zero attention span. Like, I noticed that on TikTok, if you aren't just totally just talking about absolutely amazing content the entire time, people just bail. Like, all right, well, I guess you missed out then. Okay. See, look at that. 353 when I just did this little side task. 353 when I look up. If that's TikTok, dude, I lose like 50 people. Sorry, TikTokers. Still love you. So they call this female, this I'm sure she's a PhD in computer science, and she goes down there and she has to fix, and people are like, well, why would they show her? Well, I don't know, probably because she was in the damn computer room where there's a computer right next to all the regeneration tanks. Where she had to go was right next to them. They were right there. So she had to see them. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, I'm thinking, well, they were like, well, she has to see him anyway. She literally saw the tank that it broke out of. All right? And you want to know what's crazy and cool? What's crazy and cool about that? Why they called her in? Because she was so good at writing these computer protocols. Okay? Why they called her in was because they wanted more harder steps in cracking the security code, because this hybrid being, while supposedly in cryostasis, was able to learn how to do it and back engineer it in his head to figure out how to get out of this damn cryo tank, this regeneration tank. Right? He figured it out as he was in stasis to escape. Oops, hold on, kitty. Let me get you some water. And apparently, this wasn't the first time it had happened. Apparently, this wasn't the first time that it had happened. It happened like just a handful, but enough to worry him. They say that Mothman was one of these, an escaped hybrid super soldier. Crazy, right? Makes you wonder what other folklore could be super soldiers. I don't know, Wolfman, right? That's for sure at least one of them. Dogman, same thing. But yeah, Sasquatch, maybe could have been a super soldier, maybe not. Quite a few. New Jersey Devil, Swamp Thing, you know what I mean? Have you ever seen Hellboy and the Creatures? Or X-Men? The X-Men was another one that I thought, wow, there you go. X-Men is real. Beast, man. Remember Beast? Highly intelligent, blue. Wolverine. Adamantium. Love me some Hellboy. No, the Nephilim have not all died, no. Hold on, read this aloud. Kyle, can everyone make a concentrated effort to spread kindness, love, light, and generosity towards another in 2022? Absolutely. That should be everybody's New Year resolution. Yeah, Sin City, hell yeah. Oh, did they? I didn't know that. Jesus is the one true God. He said all the beings in X-Men are supposedly RH negative. So, Crow Gang, I've talked about the moon, Eisenhower extraterrestrials, Autox military base. Well, what's the beauty of this is I always post every single live. It actually saves and posts right after the live. So whatever you missed, you can backtrack and go watch, which is cool. Basically, that I've been talking to this person who claims to be an AT, said that there's an off-planet, there's a planet next to us right now that is being prepared for a human civilization if something goes awry on our planet. I don't know. So, stuff like that. That's what I've been talking about. So, anyhow, at the moment she arrived at the facility, the base, or the lab, under Antarctica's ice, she said it was probably 2 miles under the ice, or under the ground. There was 2 there, and she said they had 4 total. She didn't go see all 4. She just saw the 1. There was 4 total, 2 under the ice and 2 under the ocean. So, regardless of this individual's escape, he won't be able to escape. That's why they do that, I guess. Why they build them so deep under the ice is so if anything gets out, if anybody gets out, that they will not be able to get to the surface anyway. Okay? And then they have this special team. It wasn't quite the SCP, you know what I mean? But they said it was something similar. I want to say it was the SSP. That's the group that they had catch this thing. Like I said, they had, at the moment she had showed up, it was still on the loose. This being was still at large, okay? So, when she was in the briefing room, she said it took her aback because the technology was so advanced. She looked around the room and there was kiosks all around the room with little holograms of the spliced beings all around the room. Now, what did I tell you about? If you guys have watched my Buseji Mountain Secrets, if you haven't, go watch it. Awesome. They found the same thing. Hybridized DNA samples or whatever of beings that they had created in the past. They figured it's up to 20,000 years old, 25,000, maybe even 50,000 years old, this cavern in the Buseji Mountains. But upon a table with pictures on it, they could touch 2 of the squares with pictures, and then it would produce a actual human size, life size hologram in the middle of the room of the being, the hybrid being. Okay? Now, in the previous video, I want to clear this up. I related them to Chimera. Okay? Chimera. That I kind of was wrong. Chimera, and I think most people have it wrong. Chimera are Frankenstein beings. Meaning, you take apart from this being, you take apart from that being, you take apart from that being, you make them all together and make them work and make it alive. Like a Frankenstein. Hybridization is crossed DNA and introduction to the genome. Hybridization is crossed DNA and introduction to the genome. That's the difference, okay? So we're talking here hybridization. And if you guys watched my other video on the CIA, retired CIA officer, who disclosed that Google got Google Earth from the CIA and their search engine, their search bar feature from the CIA. Also, he talked about hybrids. And he paused for a long time after he said hybrids. He looked at the camera and went, and hybrids. Why did they do this for Google? Basically, Google, some of their most important features were backed by, apparently, the CIA. I want to say this too. Why I share this so openly without worrying is because this gentleman who shared this information, he said that all of a sudden this loophole in his disclosure agreement opened up. Okay? That doesn't just happen out of the blue. It doesn't just happen at random. The CIA more or less allowed this disclosure. The CIA and Google more or less allowed this disclosure. Why? Because they are trying to condition us to introduce us to the fact that aliens exist. Why again? Because they're coming. They're going to show themselves, and they're trying to prepare the mental of the masses. So get prepared. And don't be afraid. They're good. Don't be afraid. They're good. They're inherently good beings. These ones, not all. But the ones that are going to show themselves are good. And they are out for humanity, not against it. So just keep that in mind, guys. Really keep that in mind. Okay? So, while this being was on the loose, or this hybrid was on the loose, they allowed her and showed her just this single lab, different sections of it. The beings that she mostly saw were female. They only really showed her a lot of female crosses. They didn't show her the males as much. She saw some, but they didn't show her the top tier male crosses. Why? Probably for, they didn't want to show their, and not saying, but they didn't want to show their cream of the crop. They didn't want to show the best of the best that they had. They wanted to show you more of like an infantry soldier, not a Navy SEAL. You know what I'm saying? No offense to anybody in that regard. But they wanted to show her, Robin, not Batman. Or not, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or Superman status type stuff. They were, and I'm not kidding you guys when I say Superman type shit. Captain America type shit. Captain America. That is called conditioning. Predictive programming. Putting it in our face without saying it's true. Even the Avengers have truth. Spider-Man type shit. Alright? They didn't want to show her the best of the best and what they were capable of. Maybe they didn't want to scare her either. Ha! So, she said they were each sectioned off into what type of hybrid they had. This section was the reptilian crosses. Okay? They were mostly green, sometimes gray. They had scales, oftentimes, or a hardened type naturally produced armor. Naturally, as in they were grown or born with it, right? Some of it was so badass that they could stop bullets. Some of them were heat resistant type things. Conditions resistant. All right? Now, depending on the human, now, when I say human, okay, so there was a section that she went and saw. This section was closed, or basically sectioned off for clones only. They were the template, or more or less the initial structure of these hybrids were clones of humans. They were basically your start here, your beginning, okay? They would clone humans, and then, and it must have been, it wasn't just all the same human either, is what the messed up part was. Not messed up, but the unique, I guess, interesting part. There was only they were all different. They weren't just only one clone. They weren't one female clone. They weren't one male clone. And why they do that is because depending on the human, when crossed with these certain DNAs, different traits would come out from different crosses. And it all depended on the genetics of the host. Think about it. That makes sense. It would. Because if we are, in fact, and we are, also that CIA officer disclosed this. And check it out. It's at Mind Hacking Happiness. That's the page. He's on YouTube. Sub him. That's the gentleman who he worked with high-ranking military people and officials he was a code cracker for computers. And he supposedly cracked a couple codes. He's an older gentleman. He's probably in his 50s, high 50s, mid to high 50s. But he cracked a couple codes for these government alphabet groups. So he has a lot of contacts and connection in the area. Okay? In Korea, you can clone your dog for 35 grand. Interesting. So he disclosed that what we are, human beings, is when the Anunnaki got here, we already had apes here that walked on all fours. Okay? They took apes. And we're a hybrid, y'all. They took apes and they spliced Anunnaki DNA with ape DNA. And the Anunnaki DNA is obviously the dominant gene. And we were born. At first, it is said that we weren't much smarter than the apes. But our capacity to learn was much greater. So we were able to adjust, adapt, and evolve, and we were able to become as intelligent as we are today. I don't know, the CIA disclosed it, so how is that false? Why would the CIA lie? We are Anunnaki DNA spliced with ape DNA. Okay? And we are the result. So we are a hybrid. We were a part of a hybridization process. That would be the Neanderthals, right? I trust what this guy says. Yeah, the CIA lies, but why would they make this up? They wouldn't. It don't make any sense to. They have no incentive to make it up. You're saying this like you know it's the truth. Where's your proof? Read the Book of Enki. The clay tablets of Samaria. Same thing. Oh, also, the Russian alien Book of Secrets. Same fucking thing. Same thing. So when I heard the CIA verify it, I instantly knew in my head that it's true. I've seen multiple sources now. Multiple. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you. Watch a movie called Brainstorm. It's great. Christopher Walken and Natalie Wood. There you go. Contact with who? Possibly. Well, God created everything, bro. And God did create us. Sure. Because he let them breathe life into us, essentially. Just because I said the Anunnaki spliced ape DNA with their DNA doesn't mean we're not a creation of God. God had to allow it to happen. God put us into existence. You're telling me that they haven't been crossbreeding and creating hybrids since forever? Just because God is the ultimate creator doesn't mean that it's not possible to use his creations to create a cross or a hybrid. And it did say that we were crossed with ape DNA with Anunnaki DNA. They didn't say, the CIA guy didn't say that, but I've read it with, thank you, bro. Thank you, Byron. I read that on the Russia's Alien Book of Secrets, the Book of Enki, and now the CIA disclosure said that we were crossed with apes with alien DNA. So, say what you will. The Anunnaki they looked just like us. They were just giant. They were just much more advanced and bigger. No, we're not their offspring, no. Most likely the apes housed the offspring. Most likely the apes housed it. Most likely the female apes, and then we were born. I don't know. I don't know exactly how it worked, you guys. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that these higher ET factions can do that we can't even fathom at this moment. And we have 98% the same DNA as apes. Wow, what a coinkydink. That's fine. Your opinion, bro. It doesn't mean I'm not discounting God. I'm not hating and trying to say anything like that. But I'm just telling you that why is it not possible that God created Anunnaki, God created apes, and then God let us be crossed and created? If people go get an animal DNA test done, they'll be in for a rude awakening. Giggity. I have heard of the Majestic 12, but I have not watched it, and I need to watch it. Yeah, you can't be closed-minded and be on my live. So, the video, if you guys watch, and you can skip to it, and I don't know if I posted the 3-minute video, but watch Mind Hacking Happiness. If you want to know what video I'm talking about the CIA disclosure, watch Mind Hacking Happiness. Go check his page out. He has the full interview with the CIA member, and he gives you a medal of participation in the CIA. He got a medal, a certificate signed by the previous head of the CIA. So they give you all the proof that you need to verify this gentleman worked with the CIA and very closely with them. So all you skeptics out there who don't want to believe in anything but what you think is true, there you go. He will prove to you that he's a CIA member, and he will disclose everything I just told you. I was tagged on Facebook or TikTok in the video. He did 3 parts to the video on TikTok if you want to check it out. At Mind Hacking Happiness. And they're pretty much his last 3 videos. The CIA disclosure one got like almost 3 million hits. So, I'm serious about banana. You know, Malibu Moon. I got some bananas next to me that I've been wanting to have one this whole freaking video. I'm not gonna though. I'm gonna wait. I don't like eating on my lives. Yeah, scripture's been altered. For sure. Now I feel like a cannibal. Nice, Tanya. Okay, so I'm going to continue. So one section had clones awaiting hybridization. Okay? Another had these amphibious crosses. And then another, the dragonoid crosses. Okay? What she said about that was interesting. She said each variation of being that they crossed them with, depending, they had a different color goo in the regeneration tank. The regeneration tank. They had a different color goo. I imagine it's a lot like the embryonic fluid, right? Embryonic fluid. I imagine something like that, similar to that. And I imagine each being, maybe they used the embryonic fluid and they tested it from each of these crosses or these hybrids. Like they would take the amphibious and they'd watch the pregnancy and maybe, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like they obviously gave them this stuff based on what they probably needed as far as nutrients and stuff like that to process, to make sure they got what they needed and supplemented them during the process of which they grew or changed. She said some would grow horns, others would grow wings. Some could fly, some could not. Some could shapeshift. Now, what was really cool about this, the being that escaped, okay, they said he escaped, and like I said, how he did it, he reverse kind of engineered how to get out, but he was being augmented. Okay? You're talking some Matrix stuff right here. Augmented. She said these beings were augmented, their lives, their lifestyles, who they were prior, what type of life they led. Some of them, she said, were augmented on their mission, whether their mission be to save a planet or prevent a massive war or disaster. They could basically upload into their consciousness whatever they wanted. And this included combat training, combat strategy, weaponry usage. The one that escaped was augmented and taught how to fight with 2 swords. And these swords were something special. They were like, almost like, well, for one, they were indestructible. So you're talking on some adamantium shit level. You know what I'm saying? You're talking like some adamantium shit. Not only that, these beings were able and taught to be harnessers of energy. Okay? And they could instill this energy throughout them and within their weapon. Okay? Now, they didn't say this. Okay? This is a theory of mine. I've read about